So guys, what's the real difference between a magician and just some guy lying at a party?
Lying at a party?
Yes.
I don't know. What is the difference?
The magician brought props.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I get it.
It's the magician's lying to you too. So the only difference between him and some other random dude lying is he's got props.
Okay.
The question is, do you want to be fooled? That's the real question.
Yep, that's right.
Actually, it's not even a question. You do want to be fooled.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah. I had to explain it though, It's not.
Yeah, no, I figured there was like a second stage.
Deeper.
I thought I had to go deeper and like, but no, it was simply just that.
The joke was opposite of a Nolan film. You don't need to go deeper.
You don't need to go deeper. There is no other message.
But they both need to be explained.
Yes, but they do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Very true.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time Film, a podcast where we discuss a director's filmography in chronological order. We are currently doing our journey to the Odyssey, covering Christopher Nolan's films from his beginning to then leading up to the newest one that's coming out later this summer.
Do we want to discuss or workshop the name? We talked about that last time.
Journey
to the Odyssey.
At this point we're all in.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a little redundant.
He started complaining last week.
It's not really a journey to the Odyssey.
The Odyssey is the journey.
The Odyssey, yes,
right.
That is
right.
Quite literally what.
But you're right. We've gone too far with it.
Yeah, and then I also said, but the Odyssey is the title of the movie, and so we're saying journey to
the title of the film, but
the Odyssey.
Yeah,
Odyssey, the Odyssey.
Yeah.
See.
Anyway,
that would make more sense.
Journey to the journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now you're looking for the secret, but you won't find it because, of course, you're not really looking. You don't really want to work it out because you want to be fooled.
Mm-hmm.
So, my name's Josh, and this is my co-host Jared.
Okay, that's one of them. I have a lot more. I'm trying to figure out which one to use.
I only wrote one down because I only needed one because I get to start.
I'm going to use this one. A secret impresses no one. The trick you use it for is everything.
Mm-hmm. And then we got a guest, Lucas, over here.
Are you watching closely?
Yep. Thought about using that one too.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we will, here's the rundown for this episode. We kind of go over some of the general info stats on the film. It's our overall thoughts, not non-spoilers. Then get into spoiler discussion on the film. And then cinematography, the score, some trivia, themes and messages, and then final thoughts.
Can I mention my other two?
Oh, your quotes.
Exact science, Lucas, is not an exact science.
This is true.
And then, are you familiar with the phrase, man's reach exceeds his grasp? It's a lie. Man's grasp exceeds his nerve. That's two Tesla quotes also, which is some of the best.
Tesla has an immense amount of just great.
Yep.
Yeah.
We talk about him a lot when we talk about who actually is playing him, because it's insane who they got to play him.
Yep. All right, this film came out in 2006. It's PG-13, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Two magicians dismantle their lives to outmaneuver each other following a shared tragedy. They chase the ultimate illusion across Victorian London, sacrificing sanity and safety to master a teleportation feat that defies all logic. Directed by Nolan, written by Jonathan Nolan and Christopher Nolan, of course, based on a book by Christopher Priest. Cinematographer Wally Fitzer, who's been on all these films. Composer David Julian.
Yep, came back.
Back to this guy. Yep. All right, production costs. What do you guys think?
I forgot this. Let's see.
So just for context,
2006.
Just for context, Batman Begins was like 100 million.
Okay.
It was.
So
that's going to throw it off because that.
No, I'm just going to give it. That was 100 million. No, 150 million.
Yeah, that was crazy high compared to
the year before.
There's no way.
And then Insomnia, which would be a little closer to this as far as like type of film, because there's just a lot of scenes with people talking and stuff. Not as much. It was 46 million. 2002. So.
Okay. I want to say like 80 million.
Okay.
Yeah, I have mine around 50 or 60 because I don't know. Yeah, you let me know, but I just like
40 million.
There's only 40. I didn't account for enough inflation.
Okay. That's very good.
I when I saw it, I was like, oh,
just
wow,
because of the actors, but also like the set design for the time period is like that's got to raise it.
Yeah, but they ended up realistically using a lot of like set pieces.
That's true.
So
there's not like a ton.
They filmed a lot practical stuff. I think practical locations.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so it was nominated for 2 Oscars: Best Achievement in Cinematography again. So that was Batman Begins was nominated for that as well.
Yeah.
And then also Best Achievement in Art Direction.
Oh, yeah.
Still no wins, but just nominations. All right, so our main talent.
Wait, so nothing for the script?
Nothing for the script, no.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Main talent: Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Piper Perabo, Rebecca Hall, Scarlett Johansson, David Bowie, Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Elite cast.
It's insane. Yeah. It really is.
Well, and this was, I guess, Andy Serkis really was only other than like playing Gollum. Like he wasn't really known
at this point. Like just seeing him as
it's like I don't know if people would recognize his face because
that's true. I feel like his mannerisms almost like you can like, I don't know. I feel like it's recognizable.
It is, but at the same time, it's strange because he's doing an American accent, which is so weird to hear him do.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But you can tell by the mannerisms. Yeah. For sure.
Let's see. And then I think also Rebecca Hall probably wasn't really as well known. Even Scarlett Johansson was still not as well known.
She probably was I would say she's the biggest of the actresses.
Of the women, yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The actors though,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, obviously Christian Bale has been with Nolan, but I don't know what all Hugh Jackman had done at that point. Michael Caine's been popular since like the 70s, but he kind of had a resurgence because of Nolan, but he's been acting forever.
But yeah, still, stellar cast.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's get into our just brief thoughts on this film, or where our history with this film is. Who wants to go first? Jared?
Lucas? Guess.
History with the film? Wait.
Well, just your general, we normally go, have you seen it before?
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Well, and then just general thoughts.
I don't even know when the first time I would have watched it was, but I mean, it was with you.
Mm-hmm.
You showed it to me. This is when I guess it's probably my first Nolan film after Inception.
Okay.
That sounds right, because I basically had to pick between Interstellar and The Prestige, and I picked this one because it was magic.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And way back in the day, I did magic. Like I did sleight of hand and like stuff like that. And it's actually funny because like one of the scenes when he's explaining the bullet catch.
Yeah.
That is literally the exact response after you like explain how a trick is done to someone. It's always like, oh yeah, it's obvious. It's like spot on. Like, it really does. It ruins it because, like the quotes say, like you're not really wanting to know. Like you want to know, but you don't want to know. But I've watched this movie dozens of times over the last probably 10 years or so. And it's probably my favorite Nolan film as of right now. So
it's very high up there, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Jared?
I mean, I've seen it several times too, but I think so I wanted to ask about the script because I think this is one of his smartest scripts. Also adding Jonathan Nolan, which is, he's done a lot, obviously, with the scripts, with his films, but then goes on and does his own thing to varying degrees. Some like really amazing stuff and some not so great. But
I think they also collaborated on Memento.
Memento?
Yeah.
I don't
later. I think more
what
stuff
else.
later. Yeah.
Okay.
I think also Inception and Interstellar.
Yes.
I believe. Both.
Okay.
It's like the
That makes sense.
non-Batman
Tenet
stuff
as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Like anything that's like not
Okay.
some other collaboration, and it's like purely from whatever they're doing.
I don't think he worked on.
So he just
we'll
do
find
anything
out.
with Batman?
Yeah, I don't think he worked on the Batman movies, and then I don't think he worked on what's the war?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk. I don't think he worked on Dunkirk.
I do know that I found out.
Oppenheimer either. But
Right. Well, yeah, he's busy doing other stuff, I imagine, at that point.
yeah.
But I do remember which we'll talk about, I guess, next week. But Jonathan Nolan is responsible for the lines. I don't know how much he wrote with The Dark Knight or any of the Batman, but he's responsible for the line, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. He wrote that line, which is like incredible.
That quote is so unbelievably famous.
I know, like
it's used all the time.
It's lived outside of that film ever since then, and
maybe
it's
he
like,
did work on later Batman. I just know he didn't.
I
Work
don't know.
on
Yeah, he didn't work on Batman Begins, but yeah, maybe on Dark Knight. But I just know he did create that line, which is just like just that alone is like it's insane. Yeah, like to your point, the life cycle of it, like just how it's grown beyond. But there's so many things from that movie that have grown out of it. This movie, I guess, not as much, but I do think it is like his smartest script. And I wanted to say that like, every time I watch it, I think it's like it gets better and smarter to me too, which 100%. is like incredible because that's like doesn't really happen that often with anything.
Watching this film, like after watching the film, each time you're like, that was in it when I watched it the first time or the last time, or like if I watch this again, will I notice something else that it's all in front of your face the entire time you're watching it, and yet you never know. You have no idea.
So that's the other thing I wanted to mention is another reason why this script is so incredibly smart is it plays out the 3-act structure of the actual hold on, I haven't written down. The Pledge, The Turn, and The Prestige is the 3 acts of the film. And literally, even at the end, so The Prestige, the final thing is, it even does something that's like, what is the explanation? The impossible is accomplished. And then also is like just the thing about like third acts in films anyways, like it's so hard to get it like right and then like make you feel satisfied with the film. It's like it achieves everything.
Yep.
It achieves everything that is what the film is about with the 3 acts, but then also does that as a film as well, which is just like it's insane.
To that same point, they also display like throughout the entire movie, they both just want to know what the other's doing. But to the same point of you don't really want to know. At the very end, neither of them actually, they're both given the option to know. And both of them are like, nah. Same exact, like it follows its own theme so well throughout the entire film.
I mean, even the final shot and the last thing that is said, you're still like, you have an idea, but you're still questioning it as well, which is just, it's amazing. Yeah. So that's why I was wondering, like, I can't believe it didn't even get nominated. I mean, again, you're adapting a already
but it still should be nominated for that because there's 2 different categories, right? There's like original screenplay and then adapted screenplay.
I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just like amazing year, but still, like
Yeah, sometimes we go back and look, and you're like, "Oh, that's why."
Oh yeah, all this stuff was in 2006 as well.
The best was the No Country for Old Men, and what was the other movie? That came out the same year?
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
That was one that they were like fighting for everything.
like everything.
Yep.
And you're like, how did those both happen in the same year?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, now I know why one didn't win everything, because it's like this other film that was a masterpiece. Bautista too, like.
So speaking of that, like, also just for all those reasons that we were talking about, like, I do think this film is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
The more I watched it, even, I was just like,
well, and I think
blown away.
So my, because I haven't really given my, this is, as I think you both kind of like, this is definitely one of my favorite Nolan films.
Okay.
I think from a cinematography standpoint, not that it's bad, but it's not at the level of some of the other ones. So like from that standpoint, it's not. But then like from a storytelling, I think this is like his this is. I mean, you see, especially now seeing Following and Memento back to back, for it's like, and then know what he tries to do later with Tenet. But I think this is like he was working on this concept since Following
first film,
and then Memento is like does the same thing, but this film with the jump around in time and is like, but it's seamless. It's not as confusing. I mean, obviously, the first time you watch it, you're probably missing things, like you said, but like it's there and it's still cohesive.
Yeah, it's not in an incomprehensible way.
It's cohesive, and yet it jumps around all the time in different like order, right? And so he's like playing with that, and it works, and it's like, I think it's like he achieved that thing that he'd been working for like whatever, a decade or more. This like idea in his head, and I think he found the right material to work with it, right? This thing, and like you said, like then the 3-act structure of which fits so well to his kind of playing with not revealing everything in general, right? So like him as a filmmaker is a magician, so to speak, right?
Right.
And so like I think it all kind of coalesced into this film, and being like, where, you know, is it like the most Nolan-esque film of that Nolan made? Probably, you know, like if that's like kind of the way to put it. But yeah, anyway, it's definitely
you
top
know what
tier.
I bet also, regardless of whatever else was nominated that year, I think also just like what we're talking about, the more you see it, the more you understand it. It's just, I think it just wasn't appreciated.
Oh, I agree.
That's definitely.
I was thinking about
it. It's just grown since then, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone I talked to, like, no one's ever seen it.
Yeah, it definitely was not. Yeah, it definitely didn't get the buzz, because like, even with because of the lack of spectacle from like a visual standpoint.
Well, and you're coming off of a huge Batman blockbuster,
like
too.
You don't quite. True. It's hard to sell as like in a theater film, right? And so then unless it gets that just the right timing, sometimes it happens. Like Oppenheimer did, right? And like and it's like weird because like, again, that film, it's definitely very like, other than the budget they use, it's very like indie style film, right? Like it's like just people talking a lot of like, you know, and and this is like the same thing. Like it's not why the budget is where it is, because it's just a lot of just dialogue and storytelling, and those don't always do well in the theater, so then it doesn't always get, you know. But anyway, but yeah, I think it's built some reputation, but like at the same time, there's still a lot of people who have not seen this film.
Yeah, well, I mean, most people have, like, anyone who has seen it though, and you're like, oh, The Prestige, whatever, they're like, oh my gosh, that movie is amazing. Like that's like my favorite movie, like, right? And like, so like if you've seen it, you know, but if you haven't seen it, you just don't know.
You have no idea.
You don't know what you're missing.
Yep.
Go watch it.
Yes, it's also,
so if you haven't, turn this off.
Yeah, don't watch it. Going, yeah, for sure. It's also very smart that he did like Batman Begins, Prestige, comes back to Batman for Dark Knight, then Inception, then the final. So because he didn't want to. I'm assuming he didn't want to be like, oh, I'm the superhero guy.
And well,
But I mean, so he
Right,
he
but
did a completely different movie in between
right,
all the
but those
Batman
are always.
films.
I mean, the way they always talk about it is you do one for the studio, you do one for yourself,
that's
and that's
true.
the way they and it's
Yep.
kind of the way it works, right?
Yeah, at this point they probably let him do whatever. I mean, after I would say Batman, what that film did, Batman Begins. But then they probably did want him to like immediately go to the next one. To your point, but then he wanted to do something else in between.
But also, I mean, think about, like, I mean, he had to have grown every time. And I know it's like, oh, do one for the studio, do one for yourself, and then the people just do them for the studio, whatever. But then, like, when you're working with a genius, not to call Nolan a genius, but he kind of is.
He is at this point. Yeah.
He gets to have that time to work on things for himself. He's not losing that. And so then he comes back and makes The Dark Knight, and it's like,
Yeah.
like,
Well, even
greatest Batman movie
because
of all
it's
time.
like, well, like if you, I mean, I talk about this a lot, like in my creative process, like sometimes the best thing is to have a bit of a box to work in to push yourself creatively. And so like having to work,
For sure.
I mean, I think you see that even in Batman Begins, but then, you know, he refined that even by the Dark Knight of like, hey, I'm working in this sandbox of the superhero world, but yet I can still do my thing in that box. But anyway, but that's next week. We'll talk about
Yeah.
it. So let's get into this. So I mean, I like how you missed when we watched it.
Yeah, we watched it together.
Because then we had,
cool.
we had to watch it, but we mostly didn't comment at all. We didn't talk the whole time.
There was a couple things we did comment on, though.
But the very opening scene and is like you were like, right there, you see the hats.
Yes, the opening scene, you see the hats.
opening shot or
like
whatever.
the duplicate hats. And it's like every time I'm like, you
Yeah, it's
don't
amazing.
remember that you saw that when you watch it for the first time. Like, you have no idea that plays like such a large role in the film.
Yep. I literally wrote that down. I said I couldn't believe that that's something I forgot.
Yep.
It's literally the first shot.
Yep.
And it says the title of the film over all the hats.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It gets me every time. And you're watching that when
There's
it's
no
taking
context
place,
for it
where he's
there.
like, where's all my hats going? And you have no idea, even though you definitely do, because you saw it
Yes.
at the very beginning of the film.
Yeah.
It's like every time.
Yeah.
It gets me every time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, so other than that, like, it starts to explain the three parts of magic, right? We kind of got to set the tone,
Yeah, he immediately talks about
and we get
the whole,
and then we get the interaction with them, and them working together, right? They're kind of both working for the other guy, really, and they're just kind of as the what do you call them, the stooges, the plants in the audience.
Yeah, they're
And
just
they're like they're basically
Oh, yeah.
our two leads are the planted people in the audience to like come tie the knots, right, and stuff. So we get that little setup, and then of course it goes bad.
I mean, but even I believe it's Angier. Like at the beginning, you see them come up and do it, and he like, I think he like kisses her on the leg, and you're at that point you're like, what? But then you see obviously later like they all knew each other, but like and that's his wife. But at that point you're just like, okay, this is. Yeah, you have no context for it. It's
nah, this guy's a creep. That's
right.
what-
Yeah, that's what you think immediately because
What
you
is
don't
this
know.
guy doing up on the stage?
Besides, like like, oh, I know these actors,
Right.
but like that's it. Yeah, it's great.
So, but I think opening does a great job of like kind of setting up and doing the exposition of what you kind of use that quote of like the three acts of magic and stuff, and kind of like teaching you that and setting that up for you. But it doesn't seem boring because you're like kind of learning it as you're watching the this like, you know, tied up, the classic thing that you've seen people, you know, like the classic thing is either sawing in the half or breaking free of, you know, being tied up in water is like I feel like the two classic on stage.
This is the
True.
This is the pledge.
Yeah.
We're presented with something ordinary. That's the beginning of this film. And I guess we could argue when it actually does change to the second, like where it actually changes to the second act in the film with the
turn.
Yes, the turn. Something ordinary turns extraordinary. It's the turn, yeah. Which I don't know. I mean, because they mention that, but it's I feel like there's got to be an actual point, but I haven't really.
I mean, I would
thought
say
about it.
It's probably when they are arguing about the transport of man and how Baldwin.
I know it's Angier and
Borden. That's what it is.
Borden. There you go. It's weird his name is Alfred though.
Yes,
That threw
Freddy.
me off because it's like Michael Caine is Alfred
Yes,
in literally
this is
the
true.
last film and the next film.
Yeah.
But they usually go by the last name anyway. Yeah.
But when Scarlett Johansson is like, no,
Yep.
it's not a double. I've seen the hand
Yes.
because he took the hand off with the bullet. That's when the turn would, I would say, be like, oh wait, it isn't ordinary.
Yeah.
And as the
that's a good
viewer,
point.
you're also in the same boat because you don't know what's happened, right? So you're like, oh wait, the hand. Okay, so there is something, and then they continue to reinforce that there is mysticism of some level, but then technically it's always backed by science, and we can give that later. But I would say that's where the turn is when it's not human feeling anymore.
Yeah, because I would, and that's right. The kind of the beginning of the second act when which is Alfred, right? Alfred starts to get
Borden,
popularity, right? It's kind of like and which is when he comes up with the trick because he was doing still like, I mean, he did the bullet catch thing or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't do the door thing yet.
Yeah,
right.
is
No,
what
he
you're
was
saying. He was gonna hold
he's still
off.
doing the simple thing, or the not simple, but like things that are
More common.
Yep.
common. Yeah, that's the right
Linking
way.
the
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
rings.
yes.
Rings, and then he's not really getting, and then of course we get because of Hugh Jackman's character
Angier.
Angier. I feel like it's easier to use the
I know,
the
it's
real
hard to
Christian
remember
Bale,
that.
Hugh Jackman,
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's character.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, I do not remember her name.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They because he's convinced that he tied the wrong knot or did something wrong and tied it too tight, and that's why she died. That he's blaming him. So then he goes for that and shoots him there, and that's when he loses the fingers. Like that's all still like the common stuff, right? And then right after that, because he's talking to the wife and Rebecca Hall, and
Don't remember her name either.
Rebecca Hall, and she's like, well, you got to find something else to do, and he's like, well, no, I can do that one thing I said would be the thing that they would remember me by. I can still do that with a messed up hand, and so that's when, and then like to your point, I think that's when the transition, because then he kind of that's the start of the second act when it's like, oh, we're doing this thing, and it's that trick, which is pretty impressive. But then of course Hugh Jackman's character then sees it and he's like, oh, I got to figure out how to copy it and do that. And that's the whole second act, right?
Speaking of which, because like I think again because it's written so well, but who were you rooting for?
I think that changes throughout the whole film. I think that's what makes it so good as well.
Yeah, there's both guys
All the way up to the end,
the
honestly.
description. Both guys get obsessed with each other, and so then neither one of them are the good guy, and necessarily bad guy. They're just at each other. So you're like, there's nobody to root
I think
for.
the question is,
I think ultimately, for me, and we can, I think ended up on a more Christian Bale side by the end, because I think like he never took it to the extreme that Hugh Jackman's character did.
well, I think
Because he actually killed him, but the other guy didn't.
yeah, but I'm saying like it's
Killed
more
anyone.
about
They both killed each other.
not just like who.
No, he didn't.
What?
No.
What?
What?
What film did you watch?
So when did Christian Bale kill Hugh Jackman?
At the end of the film with a gun.
Oh, right, at the very end. Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole Prestige. Like,
Yeah.
that's like,
No,
because
no.
Hugh Jackman
He had no
was
idea
the
there
Prestige.
was-
He
yeah.
shows up at the prison and
No,
is
no,
like,
yep. Yeah, no, I got you. Because they both think the other one's dead.
yes.
And
Yes.
then, yep.
And then it's abracadabra, and he walks down and shoots him with the ball. It's
I forgot at the very
when
end. I was thinking more
when you
of the.
think it's the end, it's not the
I
end.
know. It's
It
yeah.
was so. It's
good.
Watching that for the first time blew my mind.
Yes. Yes. I would. My thing was it's
Especially
more of
'cause
the
you were
protagonist.
probably like 14 or something.
Oh, well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I was
Of course.
still. It had definitely been within a year that I had like done consistent magic. Like, so
Right.
I would have had to have been like 13, 14 when I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end, because you see Christian Bale, like you see him with, well, I guess it's technically his twin, but like I would say, because it's not only who you're rooting for that changes throughout it, it's like who even is the protagonist, because that changes, I think, in your mind.
I feel like it
Different
always,
parts of the film.
from
But I think by the end, to your
from
point,
the screen time on or the time on screen, like Hugh Jackman's character has a lot more like face time, and so I think it feels like he's the protagonist.
okay.
Right.
From like just from the way it flows, right?
If you add up Fallon and if you add up both of them,
Right.
it's about the same though.
You add up
Probably.
the
And so if you take Christian Bale's character as a whole, then they're probably about the same. I'm actually curious. I wonder what that like screen time's like.
that would be, yeah. I'm sure someone's done a YouTube video on it.
Breakdown.
Maybe if not, I might have to do
Yeah,
it.
right.
The so I mean, and to that point, like I love the scene where Rebecca Hall's like, "Oh, today you mean it, or today you don't mean it,"
Yep.
and like even that from a like just until you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's brutal. Yeah,
you're
It's-
like, what? You're like,
It really is, like, you really start to like hate him for it. You're like how could you love magic so much more than your wife one day and not the other? And that's because one of them genuinely and then you're cheating on your wife, but then like
right. But
then
yeah,
one of them isn't cheating. And
no,
I half wondered like why.
right, you're right. The
commitment.
first time, and it like I it's been so long, but like you saying that, I think I do remember those feelings the first time, right?
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah,
At
the
that
very
point,
first time
for
this
sure.
is what
you
you
don't
feel.
know it's two separate.
Obviously,
people.
I didn't feel it watching it this.
Yeah, because you
last
know
night,
that going. Yeah, once you've seen it once, and you know, then you watch it again. You know it's two people and not
Yes.
just one person, and then you understand that
That
nuance.
second watch is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
it is.
but that first watch, you're right. Like you were like, dude, what is this guy's deal? Like,
Yep.
you know, why is he so mean to her? Like, you know, and then you realize.
But at the end, I mean, he's very clear and explaining one of us loved her, one of
Yep.
us loved the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he even is like, he's even like, hey, what does he say to him? He's at some point, he's like, can you at least pretend to like my wife? Because it's like he had to be there in that moment.
Yes.
You remember him saying that? Even it was like because I you know, to I guess it would be Fallon is who they
Right.
called him, but yeah, he even there's a moment besides that he's just like, they show not only him at the end, obviously like cutting off his fingers, but there's a moment where he's like talking to him and trying to be like, hey, because he has to be him essentially at certain times. You know, it's just like, yeah, it's
Well,
it all makes sense by the end. It's just like crazy.
well, there's so many levels to it because there's like, oh, you promised me to go to the zoo today.
Yeah.
Oh, then go to the zoo we shall. Right. Like there's like just like the stuff like that, and he like plays it off, and like they're always playing it off for each other, but like. I think it's like one of them was obsessed with magic, and one of them was a genius, like
engineering, right?
like
Like
he was. One of them was the engineer, and one of them was obsessed with it. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the man who loved Sarah, the wife, right, was the genius, but not the one that was obsessed with magic. So he like had to be involved, I think. But like because it was scripted in a way where it was one of us loved this, one of us loved that, one of us did this, one of us did that.
Yeah, you don't know.
You never really know
No.
which one is in which scene, ever, unless it's explicitly like, oh, not today.
So,
Which, by the way, I love that.
I know
That line is so like when he realizes that he screwed up
it's amazing.
and argued with Sarah, and she asks if he loves it, and he says,
That's
"Not
it.
today."
Yeah, it's an amazing response.
And she's like, be honest with me, be straight with me. And then he answers it.
I think there is moments where if you really study it, I think he does do, again, why like both of these actors, the performances in this are like some of the best they've done, because I think there is those subtle differences that you can probably point out with even just Christian Bale, whether he's, which person.
Right.
I think if you go back, because I tried to look at it this time, I couldn't tell, but I believe there's also YouTube videos of that as well.
I always try to work it out.
Yeah.
I always like.
I still don't know though. Yeah, always. I have I wanted to mention up top, this is just funny because I saw a mini interview that Michael Caine did around this time. It's just a really funny quote he said when he was asked to talk about this film. He said, "We have the greatest misdirect in this film. Scarlett Johansson in a dress one size too small."
Yeah.
That was his response. I was like, that's a great
Fabulous misdirect.
Yeah, that's a great response.
So, I mean, let's talk about Tesla.
Yep, that's my other big one.
So
you don't see him for a while because he tries to see him, and
because he tries to, and he's dealing with Andy Serkis's character, who's like the assistant, whatever, to Tesla. But then we finally get to see him.
he's traveling all the way to Colorado.
Yeah, so this is
Historically accurate.
Yeah, historically accurate. That's where Tesla did a lot of testing.
Okay,
Before he disappeared.
interesting.
Hey, we don't know what actually was going on there. Maybe Nolan knows something we don't.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely it's really interesting. I mean, I guess it's probably in the book, but definitely interesting historical character to bring into this mix, right?
But then
having David Bowie play him.
Not only him, but then adding technically a sci-fi element to it.
Yes. Well, that was the other question, but like I was going to talk about just Tesla and David Bowie playing him, which, was
that's the reason why I think he got him for that reason, because he wanted to get someone because David Bowie is like, he's kind of an alien anyway, from like how talented he is, both like as a musician, just the way he looked in general, and just like what all he did. He didn't really act much. He did a little bit, and so I think that was part of the reason why just Nolan wanted to get him. And I know he refused at first, but he convinced him. That's all I know about, like looking up the history of it. But it's just, I think it's just a perfect use of him on so many levels for that. Yeah. And I feel like this is probably the last thing he ever acted in, I want to say.
How do we feel about this sci-fi element? Like actually having like a transport device, so to speak. Like it's the only thing that's not, because everything else, all the other tricks, all the other things are grounded in reality once they're explained in one way, shape, or form, right? Except for this one. This is like made up. Because that device doesn't exist unless
Tesla actually did, and we don't know.
It's the government's controlling it. We never, we're basically like a transport cloning device or whatever. So it's the only thing that I would say from my perspective, it's the
only thing that makes the film heightened.
Well, it's almost like it's the, I don't want to say scar, but it's like the little like thing that's like kind of a little out of place, because everything else is so.
But it plays into the story so well, though, that I think it's
right. Like from a
great.
general standpoint,
Yeah.
and adding that little sci-fi element, that's fine. You know, it's like, it's good. It works. The story works great, but it's like, I don't know. It's, at the same time, if you're writing, and again, you got to go, you're going off a book, then you're adapting a book, right? So maybe it wasn't his decision, but it's like almost like you're adding this one little element that if you didn't do that, like everything else is explainable. And so, and I know, like, I think even some of the magician characters are based on, like, both like are based on some real magicians that existed in history. Like, it's not just like, so like all of it's very kind of almost historical, with obviously like using some creative license, but then again, like, but then of course, to your point, like, you know, there is some mystery around Tesla anyway. So
true.
Well, personally, I think it was a great decision. I love when a realistic film / TV show or whatever has elements outside, like just enough outside where it realistically wouldn't be possible, but is just enough to be like, oh, that'd be great, you know, or oh, that would be awesome, or like just there. It's not full sci-fi, it's not full fantasy, whatever. But it's just over that line of reality, and I think movies and TV shows operate very well there because it kind of brings back like the romanticization of like wonder, right? Like, as like as a kid, we like, you know, you just see a superhero and like you're like, oh, you know, that's awesome, I want to do that. But then as you like get older, you start like everything starts becoming too like reality based, right? And you're like, oh, I know that's not real. I know that. So the stuff that comes so close to reality, like, actually makes you like get attached to it because there's actually a possibility, right? Like, and I think it's done fantastically in this. Like you said, the mystery around Tesla, and then, you know, like, we also don't know what happened to Tesla, so maybe it was real, you know, like, right. But I was also trying to think, because I wanted to say there was like one other thing in the film that was right outside reality, but I can't remember what it was. Because I remember thinking about it last night. Should have wrote it down.
Well, I think I mean, to that point, yes. I don't disagree. I was just trying to ask that question to spark conversation. But the best part of sci-fi and the best sci-fi is when it like is close enough to reality that it all makes sense. It all seems possible. And it's not that far-fetched. And it made me think...
You mean the science part of science fiction?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it made me think of like the show For All Mankind that does such a good job of laying that groundwork to what a possible reality of space exploration. And then to me, the crazy thing is, in 2019 when that came out, it was kind of before SpaceX really started doing stuff. And then now where we're at, you know, 7 years later, and the things that they're doing, and you're like, oh, you know, yes, that was sci-fi 7 years ago, but now it's like, oh, but some of that stuff actually could be happening in the next couple of years, and it's kind of wild.
Well, with this film, I said quote unquote sci-fi elements because it's like, it doesn't make it sci-fi to me.
Correct.
But I
would never categorize this film as sci-fi.
No, but I know our definitions are different when we talk about sci-fi.
Yeah, because you
also. But I just mean that is the only part of this film that is. Guess that's what you would describe it, at least, because it's
right. Yeah, it's
something that's
more on the science side of science fiction.
Yeah,
and not the space stuff. But yeah, anyway, it just made me think of that.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Oh, I had the very first time, obviously all the scenes that Tesla is in, I think are some of the best scenes, but the very first scene that Angier finally meets Tesla, is just I think, an amazing scene. But then everything afterwards, with him trying to meet with Tesla again, is just some of the best moments. Well, I should say some of the best moments that have to do with the heightened aspect that we were talking about, or the science part of this.
The fiction part.
The fiction of the science fiction. Yeah. I just like a lot because
they don't really explain how it works. So it's not like in a logical way.
Which they don't need to, because also that,
works, yeah.
But that plays into
the
magician side of it, and the
yeah, I think
not wanting to know how it's done.
Yeah,
it plays into
Tesla
that.
Scenes definitely have some of the great lines. He gets to say a lot of stuff like you said, but it's also funny when he's like, I shouldn't make this. You should find a different way. And then he's like, I don't care. And then he's like, well, I already started it.
He does. Yeah.
Tries to talk him out of it.
Yeah. But later on, I mean, he literally says, he's just like, what do you say? Like, cast it into the ocean.
Yeah. Destroy this thing when you're done with it.
Yeah. Be done with it. Yeah. Which obviously is.
Because if something really existed like that, that's wild. That's just like.
But Tesla was wise enough to be like, oh, okay, I did this, but then it's like, this should not be in anyone's hands. That's why he tells him. He's like, get rid of it. But it's still surprising that he gives it to him, though. But also warns him and says, like, here, you can have it, but you should destroy it, essentially.
I mean, I guess probably because he like paid for it.
That's true. He does mention how much he invested into it.
Which is like, where'd he get all the money?
They don't really get into that, but they do.
I mean, he was a famous magician.
Yeah, but like,
I think he had money before.
A lot of shows.
I think he had money before that, though. Also, initially
But yes, I believe.
Well, in the beginning,
him, at least, not with the other guy.
He's just like he's just a where do we use?
Yeah.
Placed guy in the audience.
Yes.
And so.
Right, but he also was leading a double life or whatever. Like he ran away from his old life.
Okay.
It's mentioned in the beginning of the film that he was hiding his identity. He was always Lord Caldwell.
So he did have money then, as Lord
I don't know
Caldwell.
about
I think he did,
but I would assume so.
Yeah, that makes sense. If he was a lord.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he gave him that part of the title after,
Yeah.
But he was always Caldwell.
Yeah.
Right, and he was going by because they were even. Yeah, there's that conversation. What are you going to go by? What are you?
Mm-hmm.
He's hiding his identity. Yeah.
Well, no, that was to decide his name for being a magician. Like, it's just something. It was just a conversation with him on the stage, like his wife or whatever. Maybe he was hiding his name for her. I don't know. Like he was literally just carrying a secret identity and then was obsessed with magic. That was all we knew. And then she was like, "You should be the great Danton." But like the Angier and like all that, like that was just his secret identity.
That's right. That was the one I couldn't remember. Danton is what he then went by.
The great Danton.
Yeah, his yeah. That is an amazing scene with the the person he gets that looks like him.
Well, right.
It's just a whole nother element because it's just like
first gets the stand right.
They find someone.
And it was fun to see. You find someone they kind of train him to kind of act like him, right? It was fun to see him do the same thing with a double, but make it more theatrical, or spectacle, right? Because they were like, oh, he doesn't do enough to make
that's what's so cool is that both of the main actors in this end up having to do like more than just one type of role. But you don't know that until much later, because this is very early on. You see, obviously Hugh Jackman
playing the other guy, just with a little bit of props and stuff to make him look a little different.
Well, at first, but then obviously for the set, they make him look exactly like him because they try close.
There was something still a little bit different on him when you could tell, so you could actually tell them apart. They did look a little different. At least to me.
Maybe was there like some prosthetic
Like he did, I think there was like his nose was different. Something was a little different that
Maybe just
the
the
look-alike,
makeup.
just to make him look like, just make it obvious so he didn't look like a twin.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was yeah, like fun that. But then and then he gets the Tesla thing, and then he's like literally killing himself, and then fakes his own death, so to speak.
It's insane at the end, but like literally seeing.
I still don't know how he knew not to appear.
Yes, right. That was about what I was about to bring up, because like he didn't know what was going on under.
He was explaining he
stage.
never knew if he was going to be in the
Yeah, the one in the
tank,
box, or the one that came out.
which is just like crazy. And then how much you see, like, I guess that tour or whatever you want to call it, how long he did that for.
He
too, at
did.
the
He
end.
did like at least 25 shows.
Yeah. Crazy.
Right, because in like the museum or whatever, there's a bunch of water, and some of them, like the bodies are still in there, right?
Yes, that's the final shot. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're both. I mean, he's both, right? So like
That was the argument at the end. Yeah. That's what they. Who was talking to him about that? Or maybe it might have been the last encounter with Tesla.
So,
Where
quick
they were
question.
talking about the who's who.
Why didn't he just use the machine once? And since you share the like-mindedness of the person who is in the box or outside the box or whatever, right? Then you could literally just do what Boredom is doing.
Oh,
Right? Like
just having
instead
one
of
twin.
like shooting yourself every time, or drowning yourself every time that you use it on repeat.
I believe they do explain that too, or at least why he shot him the first time, or why he shoots the clone the first time. Hugh Jackman does. I think they explain that, but besides that, I don't know. But I don't remember the reason.
Well, I mean, they didn't explain it; he just did it. They don't really.
Yeah,
They talk about it later, though. I want to
Yeah,
say.
they just show it to you what actually happened.
Okay.
Like you early on, you see the setup, but you don't see the what happened. And then when they're showing you what happened,
Do you not? You see him shoot himself the first time he does it?
no, you don't. It's not until later when they're showing like some of the flashback stuff. You see it. He actually had to
They
shoot
show him using the machine for the first time and
the
seeing
gun.
the clone for the first time and then
because
shooting him.
you still don't, because you still don't really, even though they showed the cat and the hats being cloned, when they show it the first time, him testing the machine when he gets it, they don't show you what happens. You just see him testing it and setting things up, and then that way it's not fully as obvious when he's showing up on the act on stage, so that like it's like still keeping it kind of under wraps. Like, so if you haven't put two and two together completely just from the hat and the cat, you're still not sure what's happening. And so then he's on stage and he does it and he shows up on the balcony, and it's like, oh. So then finally when you see the body and the water thing later, and of course you see it right at the beginning too, right? Right before they cut to the trial, that Christian Bale was right there and trying to break him out, and he dies.
Yep.
But then you don't again, just like with the hats, you don't really remember you
have
saw
no
that
idea the context for it. Yeah.
till way later.
Yep.
But then when you see that happen, then again, and he's trying to break him out, it's like, oh, you realize like, oh, he's killing himself every night when it's happening. So like, anyway. But yeah, you're right. The biggest thing is like, how did he know not to show up and just roll with it and disappear? Like, at the last, it's like that's not really explained or ever.
And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Unless he was always planned it. Unless he just planned, I'm doing this many and then I'm out and I'm gonna pretend like I died, like he just wanted to disappear. It just happened to be the same one that Christian Bale. Like maybe, but that's like a really coincidence. Like,
or like the other thing is like maybe they do share a conscious for a little bit or something. Like as he falls, maybe it's like a delayed effect and it's not right away, because we actually.
Yeah, they don't.
Even when they show it, like it's not like it is like pretty much instant, but it's not like as the lightning's happening, it's like materializing, right? Like it's like it's like after the fact. So maybe like as he's falling, you like sees him or something. I don't know. I don't know, because he goes through the trap door, as the lightning's still on, right? So maybe it's happening as he's falling, and he like sees him, and so like consciousness, he's like, oh, he's down there. I can just skate out of here.
That's the thing that's scary is that all we know is what he says, where he says he doesn't know if where he's going to end up. Mm-hmm. That's all we know as far as the context of like what actually happens in that moment of the whole trick. Yeah, it's crazy. But the just knowing that the level that he is willing to go to do that, it's insane. But I mean, the same what you could argue with Christian Bale as well.
Well, he did think that drowning was like going home. So
until the end, until he
and then he explains changes.
It. Until Alfred explains it to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, Freddie didn't explain anything to him.
Yeah. I know. I forget.
Michael Caine's character.
Yeah.
They go by his last name too. It's yeah. I don't remember the name though.
All right, any other call outs on that before we move on like just story stuff before we move to cinematography and score and stuff? Well,
I think the sequence at the end.
Yes.
Like the reset up and just like going through each step, them both going through different levels of grief. Like all of it happens in the span of like 10 minutes in the film. If that. And it's like you see so much take place and so much is explained and so much like you're just like it all gets thrown in front of you at once. And yet there's still like fantastic pacing at the very end, like the last end reveal.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that they pull off as a film even. That's like that level of satisfaction, but you still feel fooled as well. Like just like they execute on everything that is set up as a premise of a film, but then literally plays out as the 3-act structure of the film as well.
It's really one of the greatest payoffs I've ever seen in
it is
any piece of cinema.
Yeah.
Also, it's just, I don't think we mentioned yet, but it's just a brutal scene also to see then Rebecca Hall kill herself too at a certain point, which is like you were talking about. I guess that's closer to the end.
That
would be after he
to see them have to cut the other twins' fingers off them so they match.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, she wouldn't have killed herself. Like, I'm pretty sure her husband was the one on the outside that survived. I think the one that was obsessed, not the genius, the one that was obsessed. I don't think was the one that was married to her, like or that like loved her, and was the one that loved Sarah. And then he's the one that was too obsessed to go and like see him. So like I'm pretty sure he's the one that got caught. So I think he could have potentially revealed it.
It makes sense that way because it makes sense that the one that was more like, hey, I'm the engineer genius, right, would just actually want to settle down,
right?
And then it would make sense that the one that was obsessed would be the one go see him.
Yeah, so she wouldn't have killed herself.
Yeah, that is.
She would have actually got the happily
the
ever
whole family
after.
happily ever after could have been there, but
yeah.
Anyways,
all right, let's discuss a little bit of the cinematography. We already talked about some of the shots, like the open imagery, to kind of set things up that you have no idea what's setting it up.
I have down just we already also kind of talked about it, but the set design is incredibly good in this for that late 1800s. I guess that's mainly the time period.
Yeah.
I think they honestly did. Like, there's so much. There's so much like. So many layers to all the scenes in the cinematography. And I think trying to think of the best example of it. I guess probably the grave scene, like where like they're like meeting in the rain in the like the all that like direction doesn't tell you that Fallon's buried right there, right? At all. And then yeah, so like it's just like there's that, and then there's like the symmetry, or the what's the opposite of symmetry? But the like where when you're looking at Borden, when he's in the cell, he's on the one side of the screen, and then Angier's like almost always on the other side of the screen when they're both reading.
Okay. I didn't notice that. That's cool.
And like just like stuff like that. Like there's so much like inside the cinematography for like storytelling. But yeah, I should have written a bunch of this stuff down because I was thinking about it while we were watching it last night. Well, I'm not a big note taker, so
I wanted to mention I guess he doesn't meet Tesla yet, but just the shot of all the lights, the example of that was incredible. Very cool shot. That's one of my favorites. Right, yeah, because it's Andy Serkis is the one that's just showing him the example of it, and then he's like,
he pulls the bulb out of the
right. He's like, how is this being the current being, just how does this even work? All these light bulbs just here on the ground.
Then later, he does it
and he holds
hand.
the current from your body. Yeah. My last thing is just we already touched on a little bit, is just the double work in general of the two actors is just done incredibly well, especially for a 20-year-old film now. Because like I don't know how they would have filmed all that 20 years ago. I mean, you guys would know more than I would, but it's just.
Well, yeah, we were actually talking about it last night. Okay. Because I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of scenes where it's out of focus.
Oh yeah,
like just a little bit. But you were saying that it was probably because of the not even imagining the resolution that you would end up watching it. I mean,
well, not having the monitors at the resolution and size and scale to be able to see that detail on set when you're filming. And so that shows up now because you're watching it in 4K, HDR, or whatever, that you would have never really picked up on, maybe in theaters because it is blown up pretty big.
True.
But the subtle, like, because you would see shot and reverse shot of it in a conversation, and the shot would be clear and sharp and focused on this person, and then it would be, and sometimes it would be back to the person, and then it'd be a little out of focus, and then
this is always very, very minor, like
it's subtle,
barely noticeable.
Like it's not like it was, but it would be just like, hey, they're a little soft where they were not a second ago. And I know the same thing happened in Oppenheimer, and in that, like, that's also because it's the same kind of issue. Like it's just more of a technical thing of like pulling focus for the resolution of 72, because everything's shot for IMAX at 72 millimeter, and those close-ups with shallow depth of field of like some of the scenes where people are talking, you're missing focus just by splitting hairs, but then it's enough that it's like, oh, they're just a little out of focus. And but then leaning it, not worrying about that at that level, and saying, hey, what's the best take for the performance is more important than if focus is off just a hair. And so
maybe we should do that more.
So that I mean, it just I'm guessing there was the same case in here. Like even if they did catch it a little bit, it's, hey, that performance, but a reason maybe things were a little bit more off more often in when they were shooting is because like they didn't have the resolution and monitors to really see that detail, right? And then at some point in post, maybe you could catch it, but at that point it's too late, and then you're just deciding, do I like this performance a little bit better, regardless if it's a little soft on the focus?
Yeah, but it's not
detrimental.
Not detrimental at all.
No, it's not.
Not even a little bit.
It's what I said, which is we always talk about, is the story is more important than any technical
Always.
aspect.
Story is always more important.
so and it works. You know, you're there, you're watching the story, and because there's so many films, classic films that have little, you know, real issues, or even, I mean, like,
well, a lot of it is just the technical limitations of the time, even.
Well, even just like mistakes, like people still left in, like you can see like a prop or like not a prop, but like a light stand or some, you know, boom in the shot, like things that just is there, and that, you know, of course nowadays they could clean it up later, but back in the day it wasn't as easy to do that. So
it's easy to miss a small, you know, little boom in the shot and stuff like that. It's really easy to miss. It really is. Especially as how many hours of filming they're doing. And sometimes, I mean, I would say because they just probably lack the technology, like it's probably the same thing. Yeah, booms in the shot a little bit. The performance was amazing. Yeah, I guess we'll go for it. Now, any of the movies that did horribly at making their movie, you have no excuses. Just pick the shot without the boom. You don't need anything else going against you.
Yeah.
So we had the color palette was definitely very muted and dark. Other than when they were on the stage, then it was a little bit more lit, and I think that was probably intentional for, hey, here's a performance and spectacle. Let's like make that stand out versus the like rest of the
most time
scenes.
it's just very natural lighting.
Yeah.
Besides on stage, yeah.
Yeah. But when it was in context to like guarding secrets and or family, like it was always like a very, very warm darkness.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't know why, but it almost always was.
Well, I think for period pieces, you have to, because like any light is going to be more like either like old Edison bulbs or it's oil lamps and things, and so all that's like really warm color tone anyway. So it kind of for it to feel authentic to the time.
Yes.
So want to tend to be a little bit more warm on the, unless you have like, you know, moonlight or something else. It's
I guess I was more. Yeah. I mean, sure.
But that could be a theme to it, though.
Yeah, also, like I would say there's other scenes where like the same lighting could have been in play, and they chose to somehow make it less warm in whatever way they chose to do so.
Yeah. No, it definitely was stuff that wasn't warm. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely like a artistic decision making when doing it, but yes, it was very easy for them to get a natural feel of warmth because of the time. For sure.
And then, because we never really have a separate place for this, so the editing, obviously, on this thing, like we
another thing it should have got
phenomenal.
It should have gotten. Wasn't even nominated, right?
Not for that either.
Insane.
But yeah, all the cuts, the flashbacks, the sequencing of everything, just it's what makes it work. Like even just what I was describing earlier with like showing just enough of him testing that machine, but not giving away too much. All these things are.
And if it's someone else trying to just copy Nolan, a lot of the time it would just be confusing.
Yeah.
And it's never confusing with his films. Like we even talked about.
Careful.
Is there?
Tenet?
Okay, I'm talking about what we've done so far.
Oh, okay. I see.
I haven't revisited Tenet in a while. We'll see about that one.
I'm hoping it's more comprehensible.
I think I'll understand it more revisiting it, but I mean like everything so far, because even the only thing we talked about, the first film following, it wasn't necessary there, but it was just him playing with
non-linear,
because he just loves doing that.
Yes.
But like it's you never feel lost in Memento, you never feel lost in this. I would say that's the two biggest.
Well, you never think you're lost, but technically you are.
Unless
then later
you want
you're like,
to be.
wait, I was lost.
Yeah.
But now I get it.
Right.
All right. So you want to talk a little bit of score?
Yeah. You guys have everything?
You got anything?
Mr.
I'll let you guys go. I'll let you guys go first.
To me, I always, it was like, missing Hans Zimmer.
You're missing him in this movie?
Yeah, I just and then after Batman Begins and him working with Nolan, I was like, yeah, I'm missing Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
I feel like the score is overall
It's fine,
good.
but
Yeah.
nothing.
It's very good in this.
Yeah.
I think it's one of his best, this guy. But, I mean, I understand. I mean, as we go, Hans Zimmer does some of the best scores
It's
of
what we talked about last week
Nolan.
with him. Like, he has the thing that he can make something memorable.
Yes.
Like, after turning it off, it's like, there's nothing I remember from the score.
That's true.
It works. It supports the film, but it's nothing that.
No, you're right. I mean,
There's something like stands out.
yeah, we talked about that. There's either Hans Zimmer, John Williams. There's only a select few that can actually make themes. I guess Howard Shore, I should say, because of Lord of the Rings, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, there's a select few. It's just like
memorable. Themes,
yes.
yeah.
But this score, though, I mean, I think this is one of his best. David Julian, obviously, he didn't do too many Nolan films, but this is just like a beautifully subtle score because it's never gets like big or loud. I think there might be maybe one part it does, but overall, it's most of the time it's just like really hauntingly beautiful. I think. I think it's great.
I think the loudest it probably would have been is when the sequence for when he has the double, and that whole thing is like
which sequence when he has the double?
when it's all being like sequenced, where it's where he's like talking to Borden. Yep. And like he's like, it's like revealing he has the power over him, and like just redoing shows, and then he breaks his leg, and then he's like tied up top, and like all that whole sequence is probably, I want to say, where it gets the loudest, because like the music definitely builds, and then there's like a point where it cuts.
It cuts very abruptly, which is an awesome moment actually.
Yes.
To that reminds me, that moment is amazing where it does cut. But I would say probably only other spot it might get, I guess, louder or bigger at the very climax, like where he does like say abracadabra, and that whole thing.
True.
That might be another moment, but besides that, it is like very, it's amazing score though. But it's never that prominent in the film.
Cool. All right, time for trivia.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, so the editing includes 146 time jump cuts in which the next shot either flashes back or skips ahead to another time period of the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
This averages to almost one timeline jump per minute of the movie.
Talk about non-linear.
For real.
And yet it all is comprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even the first time you watch it. Alfred Borden's infant was played by Christopher Nolan's daughter.
Oh,
nice.
They must have just had a child and was like, "Here, throw it in there."
That's usually what directors do. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, this is wild.
We all know that too well.
This next one's thing is wild.
I have a large acting portfolio, if anyone's curious.
All right.
Yep.
Sam Mendes wanted to do this movie as
I
a
knew about
follow-up
this.
to American Beauty,
Yep.
which had just been nominated for 7 Academy Awards. Another offer came from Newmarket Films on behalf of writer, producer, director Christopher Nolan, of whom Christopher Priest had never heard of, because at this time he was pretty much. Priest was prepared to close the deal with Mendes when a VHS copy of Following was delivered to his house by motorcycle. Memento was still in post-production, so this was before Memento even came out. So this is like, I guess, early 2000, because it was after 99, American Beauty being nominated. Priest was impressed and chose Nolan in part also to support a new filmmaker over an established one.
Wow.
I'm so glad Sam Mendes didn't do this.
Great decision.
Yeah,
but isn't that crazy?
Good job.
Not that Sam Mendes is a bad director, because obviously we covered his
No,
film, but like,
he's a great director.
but like,
but
not
he wouldn't
for
have
this.
done this movie justice.
No.
No.
it would have been not been non-linear. Like it would have.
Yeah, it would have been just straightforward.
It probably
the
would
whole
still
way.
been an okay movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
This probably still would have been good. It just wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been.
would have been a masterpiece level to
Right.
where like, and every time you revisit, you're like, oh, I didn't notice that and that, because especially
Mm-hmm.
if it's just a normal
Yep.
like linear story through the whole thing as opposed to non-linear. It's just
Yeah.
it's not the same.
This is one of 3 2006 movies to feature magic and magicians as
Yep.
main characters. The other 2 was The Illusionist and Scoop, which also starred Hugh Jackman and Scarlett Johansson.
That one I wasn't familiar with. The
I was not.
Illusionist was the one they literally made it in response to this.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's like it's not
Yeah.
Well,
great,
I mean,
obviously, but yeah, it's
never
like very
follow
similar.
a masterpiece with a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would. They
Well,
just wanted to make another movie like it.
It happens all the time in studios.
It does.
Like,
Yeah. Studios think they can do it better,
Well, they just like
or at least
they hear about
do the
something
money.
coming and they do something similar. And
Yep.
yeah, because obviously you can't produce something that fast.
right.
So you're making it before the one comes out. But yeah,
True. So then you're already in too deep when you realize that you're not as good as.
yeah. So you don't really
Yeah.
know what you're up against.
But though sometimes I'm sure it does happen. You do end up making it better
Yeah,
than
yeah, oh,
what
yeah.
the other one was going to be, and then you end up beating it out.
Very possible.
Yeah.
But less likely.
Yes, and definitely in this case.
The protagonist's initials, Alfred Borden and Robert Anger, are the acronym ABRA.
That's cool.
That's true. That's cool.
And that was, according to this, was intentional. When Andy Serkis is introduced, he makes a reference to a magic trick in which one person guesses the item in a person's pocket. The same trick fools Gollum in The Hobbit.
True. This is true.
That's awesome.
And so I thought that was the other.
I wondered. Was he thinking about that when he?
I mean, this is 2006, so like,
Yeah, maybe.
the first Lord of the Rings film would have come out already. They wouldn't have made the Hobbit movies yet, but like if
All
you're
the Lord
familiar
of
with
the
the
Rings
material,
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if he was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
let's do this."
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. So Josh Hartnett was considered for the part of Robert Anger.
That would have been interesting.
Yep. Also,
not as good.
Originally, Jude Law and Guy Pearce were Christopher Nolan's original choice for the
They would be
leads.
great.
They would have done a good job.
Law was dropped after David O. Russell put Nolan in a chokehold at a party, demanding that Nolan allow Russell to cast for I Heart Huckabees.
Oh,
So I guess he's like, all right, and so he went and did this other film. And then meanwhile, Pierce, who previously worked with Nolan,
yeah.
was vetoed by Warner Brothers because they didn't like his performance in Memento.
That's insane.
Which also, but Pierce is, remember we read, he
Yeah.
didn't like his performance in Memento.
Which is
either.
insane because he's like, he's
Yeah.
incredible in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guess the guy thought he could have done better.
Yeah,
But either way, I mean,
We all
who he ended
know
up
how it
with,
feels.
the film turned out
Yes.
great. So,
We do.
it's just the way it works out. David Bowie declined the role when it was offered to him. So Nolan flew out to him personally to tell him that he was the only person he could imagine doing the role, that his larger than life persona would make the idea of Tesla building a cloning device believable. Upon hearing this,
I mean-
David Bowie changed his mind and took the role.
that's what I was wondering. Like, what actually convinced him? I guess just saying all that. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's beautiful.
It is. I mean, it makes sense.
that's-
It's like no one else is gonna like. But
Like-
if David Bowie's telling you this, it's like okay, I understand.
That makes me think of like when I watch like Entourage, and like there's like this where like something has to happen, and it's like no, we got to make this happen, whatever, and they like just like they will go to the ends of the earth to make
Forced
it
to-
happen,
yeah.
and like have those conversations, and that's what that is. You imagine this person in this role, and they decline, and you go to their doorstep and say no, this needs to be you,
Yes.
and it changes their mind.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's just, you have a vision and it's like,
Passion preaches like to the like it really does. Like I've gotten like yeah,
yep.
people love to follow passion.
Yes.
And a clear vision.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, like,
Yeah,
knowing,
like, yeah, those
yeah,
together,
like,
for sure, yeah.
All right. Themes and messages. What do you guys got? think the overall underlying messages in this film.
Obsession's a young man's game.
That is the line. Yeah.
That is a line.
Yeah, that is essentially what it is.
And honestly, maturing is getting old. Maturing is the same as getting old, right? Like, as soon as you've matured to the point of being like, oh, I shouldn't be obsessed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of just wrote it a different way, but a cautionary tale of obsession and revenge is essentially what both these guys go on with each other.
So I wrote how like the pursuit of greatness can consume and blur the lines of morality and human connection. And then also like dedicating your whole life to something. Was it worth losing yourself and everything else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sacrifice of
greatness, the sacrifice of greatness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
There's a theme actually of now that I'm thinking about it, that Nolan's kind of one now of like quote unquote great men. Like, it's like he did the Oppenheimer thing. Now he's doing the Odyssey. It's like he's kind of on a run. What else is there? I mean, I guess it's kind of the most recent things he's done, but it's like, that's definitely a core theme he likes playing with a lot. I've noticed. It's just like the idea of a man being great, whether he actually becomes great or not, depends on the story, obviously. And that's I mean, especially in Oppenheimer and like what he did, it's like, that's the ultimate. You know, with that especially, it's like, you know, the line he says, what is the line? I've become death, destroyer of worlds. Is that the line Oppenheimer says, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I noticed that is a theme. Seems like Nolan plays with a lot, which is awesome.
Well, final thoughts.
Go watch The Prestige.
Yeah.
If you've only seen it once, watch it again.
Yeah, watch it again.
If you've seen it 10 times, watch it again.
Though, if you saw it like last night, you can give it a little bit.
Yeah, give it a little time.
Or not, because then that's the best time.
You'll still get more out of it.
Or, you know, depending on how early on in your watch count is, go watch it again. Yeah,
it is a masterpiece.
It just genuinely is a masterpiece.
Yep.
And it's underappreciated. Well, by the people who've seen it, probably not underappreciated, but
it was at the time for sure.
Not enough people have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now going through all of them again, I'm curious if it'll stay really high on my list. I think it will now. Just because revisiting all of these now, we'll see where it ends up, but it's very high.
Like, Interstellar is also fantastic, but it's just The Prestige holds a special place in my heart, and I always chalk it to like, I guess it's because of my love of magic, because everyone like is always like, no, Interstellar, but realistically, I just watched Interstellar recently, and now I got like just watched Prestige like, I don't know, a couple weeks later. It's not.
Like I said,
Prestige is my favorite.
Like I mentioned to me, the thing that this doesn't have is like the cinematography visuals that some of his later movies have, and so that's where and then the other part is just the amount that they're talking about those cuts. The amount of those cuts for your average viewer might be too much, right? So then like it's not as digestible by the broader audience. I think, and which just makes it.
Y'all are too shallow and short-sighted.
Why it doesn't have the level of popularity that some of his other films have would be my guess.
Watch it again, think a little harder, and appreciate this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, go watch this, watch it again,
and come let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, send them in. Let us know what we missed. I'm sure there was a million things.
Leave a comment.
A billion things.
Leave a comment.
But yeah, you can do that by commenting on the video, DMing us, or emailing us at feedback@screentimepod.com. Next week, The Dark Knight.
Yes. A little indie movie.
Just
we took a slight step back in budget, but
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be okay.
But until then, please like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and follow us on those things. And if you'd like, you can follow each of us on Instagram. I'm at Jay Youngbar.
I'm at Jared Youngbar.
And I'm at Lucas Youngbar.
All right. Till next time, we'll continue our journey to the Odyssey.
Odyssey to the Odyssey.